Hey, Point, this is the first question from our live Q&A leftover, and the question was that, how do I deal kindly with my family and their horrible habit of judging and gossiping everyone? Great question. Where I want to turn for that is Matthew. The book of Matthew, there's a lot of sections where Jesus talks about love. And especially he says, the two greatest commandments in Matthew chapter 22, love your God, Lord your God, and love your neighbor as yourself. But earlier in the Sermon on the Mount, he takes two sections to talk a little bit about love. The first, he says, he talks in Matthew chapter 5, you know, loving everyone, loving even your enemy, which is kind of groundbreaking, right? We all can love a friend, but what about an enemy? And then Jesus talks about in Matthew chapter 7, do not judge. And so he's talking about loving people through judgment. He says, pull the plank out of your own eye before you pull the speck out of your friend's. So, how do you deal with a family that is constantly judging and constantly gossiping? Well, one, you look at yourself and you say, you know what, I'm not perfect. I'm in need of grace. And when you see that you're in need of grace, you look to your family and you say, you know what, I've gotten forgiveness through Christ, and if they're connected to Christ, you need to look at them and say, this is not the way that God wants us to live out our lives. He doesn't call us to judge other people. He calls us to love other people, to offer the same forgiveness and grace that He offered to us on the cross. Now, if they're not connected to Christ, this is an opportunity for you to love them through that, for you to show them patience and kindness and forgiveness, which is what 1 Corinthians 13 calls love. And so if they're connected to Christ, point them to where they're wrong, but first look at yourself and say, I need forgiveness. And when you're pointing them, say, look, I'm not coming from a place that's better than you. I'm just saying I'm in need of forgiveness too, but we need to live out that forgiveness of Christ. If they're not connected to Christ, love them, forgive them through that, because through your love and your forgiveness and your patience, they're going to see a picture of God, and hopefully they'll connect to God, because that's just a surface problem compared to the problem of sin that we all wrestle with. So thanks for that question. I hope that helps a little bit, but love and patience are not always easy, but just keep persevering and know that God will give you the strength to do both.